Well, let's see if I remember how to do this. I'm guessing I'm gonna mess this up pretty badly. Let's see here. Sound seems reasonable. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope y'all can hear me. Hope y'all can see me. Stray Catnip says, "Yay!" Fred Hill says, "Where's the beef? Where's the trailer? The trailer we haven't picked up yet. It must be in the same time zone. I would say yes, but I don't know what time zone you're in. Hope everyone enjoyed the nice weather today. 65 had the shop doors open. It hit 40 here. Balmy. It's supposed to snow tomorrow. It snowed the other day. Den, who said that? Someone, Neil said, "Hey, Den, long time no see here." Oh, Tom says he's Pacific. No, we are Mountain Time. Futon says, "Greetings, everyone. We'll be Pacific here shortly, though, when we get to Vegas." Mater says, "Welcome back. How you doing, Mater?" Oh, my gosh. What a 2022 has been kicking my butt already, and we're not even through January. Let's see here. Well, Hawk says, "Down by the river." Nice. Greetings from Wisconsin. Mark says, "Never too early to thumbs up." Thank you so much. Barbecue 76. About dang time you guys showed up again, don't you think? I do. I'll be honest. This is the first week where I'm actually feeling mostly myself again. Somebody else described it really good here. The illness that was going around, COVID or whatever it was, that it felt like being waterboarded. Like the drip down the throat, which constantly into the lungs. It was terrible. Mark says, "I wonder if Carhartt prices are going down." I don't think that's going to happen. Let's see here. Mark says, "Thumbs up." Let's see what else we got here. Greetings from Omaha. Hey, Omaha. And we're actually going to miss Omaha on our trip here. Fu Manpoo says, "I need an inflator and pressure washer. Any deals?" I've not seen any deals on those, but stay tuned for deals of the week tomorrow. We'll see what pops up here. You know, most of the deals, they pop up on Sunday kind of thing is what happens. So we gather them up. They string across Sunday and Monday. We gather them all up and throw them into deals of the week. That's why we do it on Mondays. In Silence says, "Hello, where's the missus? Did you get the RV yet?" We pick up the RV the second week of January. The dealership we're buying it from is taking the next week and a half off for a big RV show. Apparently, I don't know if it's the one in Florida that they're at or what, but as such, we can't pick it up till they get back, and they won't be back until then. But we've signed the papers, put down a deposit on it, so it's going to happen. Beetleworks says, "Just picked up a Daytona jack and a new Icon split beam torque wrench." I'd be interested to see what you think after using the torque wrench for a while. Let's see here. Den Tools still needs more tools. Here's the bad news. We have to move out of this space. So the person who owns this property, there was a family thing that came up, and I don't want to get too far into it. Anyway, it was a bad thing, but for them, and so they're having to move halfway across the U.S. So ownership of this place is getting transferred. We don't know we're month to month here, and since we're leaving, we're going to be gone for 3 months. I can't just leave my stuff here and be like, "Well, I hope the new owner is going to let us stay." So we got a storage unit, and we are in the process of moving everything in the storage unit. Now, there's several different people who are talking about purchasing the. It's really convoluted. We're not really sure whether there's someone who's buying the building, buying the space, or just renting the space. But we're subleasing a portion of the space. The end result is, we're moving everything into storage before we leave, so that if something happens while we're gone, we don't have to immediately drive back up here to take care of it. So it sucks, but it is what it is. Dylan says, "I made that crazy move to Missoula in January, if you remember." Oh my gosh, happy to be in Montana again. Oh my gosh, moving to Missoula in January. It's been chilly, and we've been getting decent amount of snow up here, so you've really been earning that one. Mike says, "Got a copy on you over here. You're roadcasting loud and proud." Awesome. Reno 530 says, "Tecton sent me an email last week. Price increases coming as of February 1st. Oh my gosh. Berkey water filters. I've got an email from them. Prices are going up. Harbor Freight said prices are going up. Stanley Black and Decker. No, not Stanley Black. The whole company. I guess Stanley Black and Decker. Not just like Stanley or Black and Decker or DeWalt. All of them across the board. Craftsman, everything. They're all going up. Who else said prices are going up? Snap-on said that prices are going up. Well, they said prices to the dealers are going up is in an internal memo that I got copied on. And as such, you can expect your prices are going up. I've had at least a dozen companies that I get press releases and stuff from say that basically either it has already happened or it's going to happen by sometime in February. Prices are going up. I think that's going to be the motto of 2022. Prices are going up. Greetings from Washington State. Tom says, let's see here. Bart says, hey, Bear, tried the new Freeman 20-volt compressor from Lowe's. Battery quit charging second time. Really? That is not a great experience. Now I don't usually like to go off of one-off experiences. So what I would say then is, as my grandfather used to say to me, anybody can fall down. Any company out there can fall down. The question is, how quickly do they pick themselves up? So when you reach out to them, let me know, hey, how was the customer service experience? Did they do right by you? Speaking of which, talking about doing right, not sponsored here, but I got to give a shout out to Henry. And I'm talking Henry Arms here. Some of you may know that one of my favorite choices, especially when it comes to deer time, is my Henry Long Ranger that I have in 308. And after the last hunting trip, we went out and I have a nice long, like old school traditional kind of storage bag that we put it in the back of the truck. And apparently someone, I'm not going to say whom, but is shorter than me, did not zip up the back of that bag. And the rifle slid out. And I don't know if it was the zipper itself or something in the truck, but it put a 6-inch groove, like just hard, like about that wide groove in the wood on that stock. And that is a beautiful walnut stock, just gorgeous. Well, at least it was. Anyway, I reached out to Henry and asked them, hey, I can't find it on your parts thing. I want to order a replacement stock for this rifle. How would I go about doing that? And they said, oh, here's the part number you need. And they gave me a link to it. Real nice people. Got back to me super quick. And I thought that was really nice. So I was going to order it the next day, and I get ready to go to order it. And I noticed I got another email from Henry. And they're like, hey, by the way, we were just curious what happened to the stock. And I thought it was an odd question, but I figured they probably want to make sure there wasn't like a defect, like it cracked when I just got it or something. They wanted to make sure. And I told them what happened. And I said, unfortunately, I'm going to have to, sell the young man on eBay to make up for the cost of the replacement. But thanks anyway. I was being tongue in cheek about it. And I got an email back from them immediately saying, please don't sell your son on eBay. But we will get you a new replacement. And they didn't just send me the stock, but they sent me the stock and the foregrip. They don't know I'm an influencer. They had no idea who I was. I didn't mention it. I didn't try to throw my weight around or anything. They just were like, here, well, let us send this to you. And they did. I just got it the other day. And, and the reason they sent me both is because when they stain them, sometimes it's hard to get color matching. So if you replace a stock, but not the forend, there may be some difference in the hue or the tint of the stain on that. And so now I got a replacement. This is like $300 worth of just beautiful walnut. And they just sent it to me. I don't think I'll ever buy anything other than a Henry after this. So anyway, I just had to throw that out there. Tom A says, Happy New Year. Congratulations on the RV. Thank you so much, Tom. A lot of people are asking, why go this route? So here's the basic breakdown. We have to be in Vegas for 6 months out of the year for the next 4 years because I'm not going to not be there for my son. A lot of people can't seem to get that through their head why I would do this. Because I'm a father, and a father means being there. So anyway, if we were to rent a place, the cheapest we could find year round would be $1,500 a month. And that would not get you much of a place, honestly, these days in Vegas. So you're looking at $18,000. I could get something through Airbnb for 3 months at a time, but I'd be spending about $3,000 for 6 months, which is, again, oddly enough, $18,000. Or we buy an RV and we rent a spot there. Now, a rental can range anywhere from $400 up to $1,000, depending on how much you want to spend. The really high-end places, the really nice spots, are going to be $1,000. I think we'll be somewhere right in the middle, between $600 and $700, which is unfortunately money that is going to go away. We don't like throwing money away for rentals and stuff like that, but it's going to happen. But then we're going to have the RV, and the RV is going to be, yes, a depreciating asset, but it's better than rental, which is no asset whatsoever. That is literally throwing money out into the universe that you're never going to see again. And in this way, we're going to have something that we can use, something that maybe we can do some camping with, we can have some fun with. I love, a lot of people, when I posted this, tried to school me on, RVs aren't all that, and you shouldn't buy an RV, and they're just, I've had RVs before. Maybe they didn't watch the whole video. I've had RVs. I've had boats. I've had lots of cars. I understand the concept of assets and depreciating assets and all this kind of stuff. But basically, we're looking at, if I spent, $18,000 a month times, or $18,000 a year times 4 years. I think that's what, 72. Let me see, 18 times 4, $72,000. Over 4 years, that's just going to go away, and I'm just not going to do that. So this is a way to, compromise, have something, reduce our costs. Not only does it reduce our costs, but we also, at the end of 4 years, we still have a hard asset, which we may keep or we may get rid of. Honestly, I think I would probably get rid of it and get a fifth wheel at that point. But, we'll see. Maybe I'll keep it, and we're talking about buying some land up here, and it's almost a destination style RV. So maybe we'll buy some land and just park that on the land. We'll see what happens. Make a good deer camp setup. I keep thinking. Anyway, Tom A says, green from Washington. Rev Smith says, welcome back, Bear. Where was I? Levick says, glad you're doing well. I had COVID 2 times. Keep up the health with vitamin D regimen, and COVID will get its ass kicked. All I had was some cough and fatigue. See you in Vegas. I'll tell you, this was not as bad as last time. I'll be honest. I have been vaccinated, and I have the natural immunities, and I still got it. So it's, just keep things warm, keeping things humid. I took decongestants to try and work through it, but that didn't do much this time. Anyway, Fred says, I've been fighting pneumonia for over 3 weeks. I think I'm finally over it. Well, thank God, Fred. That is terrible. And we're glad you're doing better. Infernal Craftsman says, any update on the Bauer surface conditioner tool? I need one for the Mustang like now, or they're missing the boat. I have not heard of anything, but I have been out of the loop because I've not been doing well. And my brain has been fuzzy, like underwater, just terrible fuzzy kind of stuff. So, hold on. My computer's trying to squawk at me. Stop that. I don't need to be listening to myself. That's a terrible thing to do. All right. I'm going to send my contact over at Harbor Freight. Any ETA on this? Bauer reconditioner there. All right, there. I sent him an email. If he gets back to us before the end here, I doubt it. It's Sunday. He's not going to get back to us. He has a life, allegedly. Anyway, as soon as I hear back, I will give you guys an update on that. Let's see here. Where is the next one? Larry says, hey, Bear, haven't heard anything from my gift card I won and an email from you, but I haven't heard anything from the company. From Larry, from Lowe's, you haven't heard anything? All right. Hold on here. All right, there. I just wrote down a note. I will contact them after this. The Ed says, great to see you again. New York City, missed you. I wouldn't mind buying your bandsaw if you need. Well, it'd be a bit much to ship it to New York City. I'm still planning to hold on to that for a while. AJ says, go Bills. No, I hate Bills. Man, Bills suck. We're trying to get rid of Bills. I know what you meant. Trolling for Dollars says, glad to see you again. So much has happened to me in the last month. Not good. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. 2022 is just starting out as a craptastic year. It's got to get better, right? I'm just saying, as soon as we get through this winter, we're going to turn a corner. That's just what I was just talking to some friends of mine in town, and we all pretty much agree that either this year is going to turn a sharp corner, and it's going to just become a booming year, or it's going to go straight into the side of the mountain. We don't think there's going to be any in between. And unfortunately, if you've been following the stock market, there's mountains right in front of us. Steven says prices are going up on everything. They are. It's ridiculous. And do I have any word on the new Predator 224? I don't. I've not heard much of anything from Harbor Freight over the past month. I don't know if they're just taking time off, or it's just because I've been out of the loop because I haven't been feeling well. We'll see. Di reminds everyone, put at the Den of Tools, just like it says right above my head. And those are all the comments. If it doesn't say that, I'm not going to read it. I might accidentally catch it, but I don't focus on those. Beetleworks says, thinking of getting my Beetle painted the same color as my new floor jack, the candy apple red unit. Yeah, but then you won't know where to find your floor jack because it'll just blend in with your car when it's under the car. How's the wind in Livingston? It is, actually this week it has been not bad, which is a good thing because the door, that's been one of the things that's been preventing me to getting back into the shop is, as long as, like right now, it is high 30s out and this shop has no insulation. I got 2 heaters going, and on this little corner of the shop, it's tolerable, but any amount of wind will just suck it right out of here. It comes in, grabs it. Man, making my lungs hurt just thinking about cold air. Pearl says, it's funny how when you tax the rich, they increase the prices on their products. I know. Either that or they take their ball and go home. That's the kind of thing when, they've got all the leverage. Stash says, any tools on the list to get before price increase? I would figure out what tools you were planning to buy this year and buy it now. The missus and I have already been going through all that. And, part of the other thing is also we're trying to purchase it before we leave Montana because Montana has no sales tax. So, that's the great thing. Like when I buy a vehicle or an RV or something, we register it in Montana. Now, there's a lot of people who scam it. They get a P.O. box here and they say they live in Montana via the P.O. box. We actually live here. Our licenses are from here, or we have a house here. But that means like when we make major purchases, no sales tax. That's the one thing though. When we buy this RV, we're going to need to get new tires. I was just whining about that. We're going to need to get 4 new tires, and we're not going to be able to buy them here. So I just honestly, when I go to another state, I'm so spoiled. When I go to another state, I get righteously indignant when I have to pay sales tax. So entitled. Not that the other half of it is we pay a pretty hefty property tax up here. That's what makes up for it. Neil F says, Mac Tools torque prices went up 180 MSRP for my home set when Works set was 170 last year. My dealer honored the old price for $5 super chat on it. Thank you so much, Neil, for the support. Yeah, things are going up everywhere. Did I mention lumber prices are back up? They're at $1,600 per 1,000 board foot. That is triple what it was when it came down. No, quadruple. I hadn't really looked at lumber prices, but I'd hoped, like, I'm like, hey, well, if we can't get back into this spot, with wood prices going down, we'll just finally build that shop at the house that we were talking about building. Yeah, I looked at wood prices this morning. Nope, that's not happening. Tom says I got the same. I got the same from Tecton, and their complete screwdriver set already went up from $235 to $250, and the 5 and 5.5 socket drivers are out, discontinued. Ugh. I don't see any end in sight anytime soon to this whole thing. There's a big economic summit thing going on right now and on YouTube you can subscribe to it. I don't remember the name of the channel, but I've been following them, and they're pushing this whole concept that they want to change. And this isn't politics. This is economics, that they want to change basically they're using the whole pandemic thing as an opportunity to change the way the world economic system works. And they want to get away from Western capitalism to, the only thing I can call it is an oligarchy-led socialism. They want a monetary class-based society where basically, now they say it's like, hey, we need to work for the environment. We need to get rid of all this stuff and this consumerism, all this stuff. And you need to like give up your house and move into an apartment, get rid of your car, use car share, all this stuff. They want they want you and I to do all this stuff and make these compromises for this new and better world. You won't own anything and you'll be happy about it. You'll rent everything because renting is great for the person who owns the item that's being rented. Who's going to own that item? Oh, the rich and powerful, the super rich, who are going to I know I'm getting into politics at that point, but if you listen to the summit, that's where they're trying to take things right now. And it's just terrifying. 6 stars out of 5 for customer service for Henry. Yeah, that was not expected. It really just blew me away. Kirk says Savage Savage is a great company. All my bolt actions up until recently have been Savage. No, they are. Actually, I take that back. All my bolt actions have been Savage. If you want something that just works out of the box, has a great warranty, and you probably honestly won't ever need it, that's what I go with. Tom says Henry's is tops, can't beat the customer service and all the special fundraisers they do. Fred says the Bauer impact wrench for just removing tires on cars are fine. I would think so. In fact, for the RV, I'm going to be trying something. We're going to be going with just, Hart. I just ordered, with my own money, the Hart impact wrench to go with all the other Hart stuff I already have. The Hart 20 volt line. And the reason for that is when you're RV, where do people stop? They stop at Walmart. Why? Walmart has food. Walmart has clothes and miscellaneous stuff you need for when you're like, oh, we need swimsuits, or we need hiking shoes, or we need something cheap. People always stop at Walmart. You can spend the night at Walmart. They've got tools and they've got tons of RV supplies. So the idea is, if you're going to be RVing, what's going to be the most convenient place? Well, there's Walmarts everywhere. You're always stopping at Walmart. So we're going to try for the RV exclusively working on it as far as power tools are related with Hart tools. Wish us luck. Simon says, I think it's wonderful that you are making a great effort to be part of your son's life as much as possible. Well, Jim asked, what's up with my son? He's my son through my first marriage, and I share time with him and my ex-wife who lives in Las Vegas. And because he needs to be in school full time, we homeschool our other 2 kids so they can go to school wherever. But he wanted to go to school full time, so he's in school down there. And as such, if the mountain can't come to Moses, Moses has to go to the mountain, as it were. But in silent, what I was to say is my father did not make a big effort to be part of my life, and I know exactly how that feels. It sucked. So I vowed that I would never, if I had children, I would never do that. So It's a really big issue for me. Jason says, any word on the Christmas tool giveaway? Never received mine. Jason, we've been just getting back into that. We got some stuff sent out early on, but not all of it before I got COVID. Actually, the whole family got COVID. So we're just getting around to that. Hold on here. Where did it go? Come on. Getting out of the way here. Hold on. I'm looking at it. Jason Vargas. Boom. The leaf blower. In fact, I just sent the stuff over to SnapFresh today. So sorry about the delay on it, but really this is like the first time I'm actually feeling like normal and actually spending full time back in the shop. Let me get that out of the way. The die says, yes, commendable for putting your son first. Thank you so much, but he's a good kid and he deserves it. Tom says, I double when Simon says you're the dad. Wings of Pizza says, we're battling COVID in the house currently. Get lots of rest, drink lots of fluid. I was reading an article in The Hill, and one of the things they really complained about is that we keep hearing all this stuff about get vaccinated, get vaccinated, get vaccinated. Well, I am vaccinated. My whole family's vaccinated. We still got COVID. We had COVID and got vaccinated, so we had double immunity and still got COVID. I don't know if that means I got triple super secret immunity now. I don't know. But one thing they don't talk about is they say if you get it, just stay home, take care, blah, blah, blah. They don't talk to you about how to treat it, and they don't talk about anything about antivirals. Because, like, when you get the flu, they'll prescribe an antiviral. That has nothing to do with the flu. It's just a generic antiviral that reduces viruses' abilities to connect with cells to help reduce the duration of it. But we can't talk about that now, and that's really weird. I don't understand. I'm not saying who's right or wrong. I'm just saying I don't understand why we're not talking about that. Why is that not being addressed? Mike says, I need a set of pretty good metric line wrenches on a budget. My brick and mortar options are Home Depot, Lowe's, Harbor Freight, Northern Tool. Which do you think would be my best option? Wow, line wrenches are just one of those things that are really... People have a lot of opinions about them. And as far as what's the best option, I don't really know. I don't even know if... what even Harbor Freight... I mean, I know they have a basic set. I don't know if they have a mid-level set. I know they were talking about coming out with some. They got Quinn ones. That's a nice mid-range price. And those are Icons. Those are regular ones. So the Pittsburgh ones I've seen. And I mean, they are on a budget. Maybe try the Quinn ones. I am suspecting the Quinn ones are actually made by Apex, the same guys who make Gear Wrench and stuff like that. I'm just basing that off of appearance, though, because they look a lot like some of the other stuff that Apex has made. And then if you have a problem, at least you always have Harbor Freight to go back to. That said, I've not tried the ones from the other one. So if somebody else has an opinion they want to weigh in on, so we'll have to see. Where we go. And Sam says, I think I missed it. Where is Mrs. Bear? She's picking up the cubs from, what do you call it? I just forgot. She's picking up the cubs, and then she'll be here shortly. John says, hey, Big Bear, glad to see you. Do you have any ideas on a 60-gallon air compressor? Wow, 60-gallon. Problem is, a lot of these companies have gotten rid of the reasonably priced air compressors. Before, for 60 gallons, I mean, I would have said Cobalt probably would be a good bargain price one on that. I don't even know if they have a 60 gallon anymore. Excuse me. I need a cough drop. Hold on. Well, it looks like they have a Craftsman now. And I don't know the quality of it because it replaced the ones they had before. Boy, they have a Craftsman for $769 and they have a DeWalt for $1,200. And if you look at the two, they're definitely sharing a lot of DNA. Wow, you think for $1,200 it'd be dual stage. This is a single stage. There's an 80-gallon Craftsman two-stage for $1,600. Campbell Hausfeld, they used to be the go-to. They used to be like for me the default of that's what you just go get. But anything other than their industrial stuff has gotten a bit sketchy, if you ask me. I don't even know if they're making it, or I think they're just OEMing someone else's equipment for that lower tier stuff. Of course, Quincy, but then you're spending. Sorry, I don't. If somebody else has a better answer, please put it down in the comments here, or put it in the chat. What are your thoughts on the Metabo HPT 12-inch sliding miter saw? I'm stuck between that and the DeWalt 779. When it's on sale, and it's been closeout sale recently, it's a fantastic deal, especially if you're talking about the one, and I think that's the only one they have. It's a 0 rear clearance. Downside, it's got a laser rather than drop shadow. Of course, the 779 doesn't have the drop shadow either. But if you're able to find it on that clearance price at Lowe's, I would definitely pull the trigger on that one. Hold on here. Wohawk says, terrible when the voices in your head are your own. No, the bad part's when you start arguing with them. Fred says, finally here in northern Colorado, we're getting cold weather and snow. Last week we had ice storm. They're calling for more snow this week, got down to 0. It has been, we had been pretty lucky avoiding most of the ice. We get really light, fluffy snow here. It's very dry snow, if you would. But then it warmed up for a bit and then rained and then went back to freezing temperatures. So you got snow with rain and ice on top of it. And the roads, because it got warm, had just cleared a little bit. So there was a light slush, then rain and ice. Yeah. Wings and Pizza said that he heard that Chaka's buying that new Ryobi storage system. I'll be interested to see what Chaka thinks of that. Blessed and Happy says, just got here. Glad to see you, brother. Hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy. From Scurry, Texas. Hurry, Scurry down in Texas. We are doing way better. We are a little crazy because we have to be out of here by the 31st. So that's out of the shop. If you guys missed it, ownership of the building is changing hands, and then we're not going to be here. So I don't want to have my stuff here and then have the new landlord be like, no, you have to be out. We're going to do something else with it. On top of that, the landlord comes through and doesn't realize I've got security cameras with microphones. And they bring people and walk them back through the shop, showing them the place. And I'm like, thanks for talking to me. Hiram says, does Northern Tool and Tractor Supply Company offer in-house lines of credit like Harbor Freight, Home Depot, and Lowe's? I don't know about Northern Tool. I don't have Northern Tools over here, so I don't have as much hand-on experience with them. Tractor Supply does. I know because I've got a Tractor Supply card, or at least I had one. We paid it off. We made some major purchases from them, 4 or 5 years ago. And so we got a card at that time. This is the way we always try to handle credit, which is get the card and use it for the discounts, consolidating stuff, all that kind of stuff, and then pay it off immediately. And this, Hiram, I'm sure you know, but I'm trying to talk about for all the younger folks out there. Don't get caught up in the whole, credit line kind of thing. The Farrell Craftsman says, if it wasn't so cold up there, the flying half and I would fly up and help you move stuff into storage. Well, thank you. That is the, man, it is the cold is the problem, because I'll sit there and go like, okay, let's get this done. And we bring the truck down here and we open it up and we're in this alley because we're in the downtown area, like old historic downtown. So narrow alley between brick buildings and stuff. And the wind just 100 miles an hour down, this blowing snow. I am still recovering, can't breathe. Trying to move big, heavy objects, get them back in this truck. There's a huge slope right at the end of so it's covered in ice and snow. And then you can't feel your fingers because, everything's so freaking cold. Larry Broom says, if it wasn't Lowe's, I believe it was for toolbox foam. Oh, that one. Okay. All right. I will contact them. All right. Let's see here. Fred says, no, this year is going to suck. Fred, always the optimist. I get you, man. I get you. Michael says, hey, Jeff, greetings on the evening. Can't stay long. Have a 0400 wake up for the job. Good report this. That's awesome. I know you've been working hard for that, so great to see something's happening there. Jason says, so glad to hear you're recovering well. Just got over my turn with the Rona last week, too. Blah. Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing better. Let's all do better this year if we can. Sam says, whenever I type the pop-up menu gives me option for add data tools without the spaces and has the channel logo on it. I'm confused. Spaces or no? I think it works with either way. Landshark then types right after that, and all yours came up as in orange. I got at data tools, then at the data, but it has to have the in the front. That's the key thing. Any word on the Christmas gift shipping out? We've been delayed because we all had COVID. We're just getting back to it right now. Fred says, leave it to Washington. They want us to believe that everything is fine. Gas is cheap. Food and meat are cheap. What dope are they smoking? Yeah, I listened to his announcement about his first year and how amazing it's been. And I'm like, do they let you watch TV? I'm thinking they don't. Maybe they don't give them internet access. Oh, anyway. Let's see here. John says, glad to see you back. Do you have any? We talked about the 60-gallon air compressor. Trolling for dollars says, so Montana doesn't sell tires, still use stone wheels like the Flintstones. Well, the trailer we're getting is not in Montana. That's the problem. So we have to drive to get the trailer. Mike says, thank you for your cordless power tool comparison matrix. Oh yeah, I don't have any real tools, and the research on what system to buy into is daunting. That video helped tremendously. Mike, thank you so much. I'm glad you got use out of that. You are specifically the kind of person that was designed for. I know exactly what it's like to sit there and go, it feels like you're making a real commitment because I'm going to buy into this, and then I'm going to invest in this battery line. I'm going to be tied to this. Speaking of being tied to a line, I don't know if any of you heard, but Flex is extending their founder's warranty for all of 2022 as well. So now you have a whole nother year to get into that and get the lifetime warranty and all that. Fred says, I need to get my fence repaired. They told me that cedar prices have gone up 30% at the very least. Feudalism. Oh, there's a government I could stand for. Well, of course, I'm a king. Fred says they want to charge us a flat 15% tax. Yeah, the flat tax thing, I don't have a problem with a flat tax as long as there's no loopholes across the board, so corporates don't get out of it. And that's what they do. They always do. Every government, I don't care left, right, all of them. I'm becoming more of a hardcore libertarian because, it's funny. I went to see Penn and Teller in Vegas, which is a fantastic show. You have to go see Penn and Teller if you go to Vegas. It is so much fun. And I got to meet him after the show and talk stuff. But in the show, they talk about it, that Penn is like, I'm a hardcore, like, rabid libertarian. He said, but the truth is, he's like, I'm a super lefty liberal. He said, but I just don't trust people. So I don't want them running the government. He's like, just think about anything you want the government to do. Imagine if the DMV was in charge of it. Would you want the DMV in charge of that? And most people are going to say, well, hell no. And as such, you know, I'm coming more around to that mindset. I've always considered myself a pragmatist, kind of a centrist, but I just don't trust the government. Not like conspiracy theory level, maybe, but really it's just, you put people in power and they create their own little fiefdoms and bureaucracies, and they don't have there's no checks and balance to it like there is in the private sector. Private sector, if something isn't a good idea, it doesn't make money and it doesn't keep being a business. The government can force you into that for it to be successful. And as such, I just think we need as little government as possible, because they just, no matter who's in charge, they always manage to mess it up. Barbecue 76, that's oligarchy thing you're talking about, and chart, and they want control. It's all about control. Old guy says, I don't know how much more Build Back Better we could take. Uh-oh. Everyone be quiet.
Shh. I'm here.
You're looking sparkly.
I'm feeling sparkly. Not so freezing.
What's that Instagram meme that's been going on? Get in, sparkle farts. We got chaos. All right. Fred says, I've heard Savage rifles just rock. Yeah, if you want to buy something that you're not going to muck around with, like it used to be, like if you want to buy something where you're going to take everything except for the action in the barrel, and maybe just the action, and you're just going to completely mess it up and add all sorts to it, get a Remington, get a 700, and you can, everything out there in the world you can play with, add on to. But if you want something out of the box that's just going to work and will outshoot you, like it's so accurate that unless you're a competition shooter, you're not going to be better than that, get a Savage. And I'll be honest, I live by that. For the most part, if I'm buying a bolt gun, even if I'm buying a cheap gun like a Savage Access, they're fantastic, especially for the price.
I'm not sure it could have done that any more complicated whatever.
Yeah.
In any more of a complicated fashion.
Hold on.
Is my microphone on?
Nope. We're going to pivot to get her in camera.
Hello.
You're not talking to anybody.
What? Huh? Oh.
All right, go ahead and talk.
Hello. Can everyone hear me? I can't hear anyone, but that's normal. Hello.
All right.
Sorry, I'm so tardy to the party tonight.
Boy, 44. What happened? Oh, were we chatting, Kathy?
No.
Liar.
There may or may not have been some chatting, but anyways, it was important, so.
Sorry there. Michael says, Walmart has an informal collection of rootless people who camp in the parking lot here. Sad to see. It is, it used to be, at least up here in Montana, it used to be that you would see people use it the way it's intended.
Like traveling.
And over the past year, we've seen it more of being a long-term stay solution for people.
I actually just saw an article before I got here this evening about how somebody stayed in a Walmart parking lot for 2 years.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, that's not.
Fred says, your oldest cub, what trade is he going into? Auto mechanics. Well,
he's still working on it.
That's what he's studying in high school, and that's what he likes doing. But he also is going to go into... Has he decided the Army or Marines yet?
He hasn't. He's still figuring it out. And my thing is, I don't want to pressure him. I want him to come to his own conclusions. But he is definitely, thinking about it, trying to work it out. Dr. Falcon, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, hello, Jess, long time no see. Yes, I am so glad to see everyone here tonight.
Well, Huck says, word has it that Walmart camping is not as allowed as it used to be. Many locations are not allowing overnight parking. That is true. Many cities and have banned overnight parking. So regardless of what Walmart's policy is, they banned it. There's also the issue of whether Walmart owns the entire parking lot. Some places they don't own the property; they lease it, and as part of the lease, they can't allow it. So it is not allowed as much as possible. But of course, today is the day of apps and the internet. So there are great apps out there now that can help you find and collate every single kind of what they call it boondocking when you're camped without being hooked up to a campsite. So there's great overnight parking places. A lot of states, that's one of the other research we have to do is.
I did some of that today.
Like California will allow you to stay in a rest area for up to 8 hours.
Yeah, most of the states have no limits. You have to look at them. Some of them have limits as little as 3 hours. Some of them are 4 hours. Some of them are 6. A lot of them are 8. But the general consensus is if you're doing it to rest and not be basically a road hazard. I mean, that's what rest stops were for. They're for restrooms and they're for giving your body a rest. So, if you do have a situation where you talk to Highway Patrol or somebody comes and talks to you, just be honest. Don't take advantage of the situation and be there for a month. But, it's better to be rested and be safe on the road. So still looking into it, but that is basically the gist of what I found.
David says, glad you're doing well. Jonathan says, opinion on Hart tools. I would say they are pretty much on par with Ryobi, considering they're pretty much Ryobi DNA plus or minus. They're made by TTI, the same people who own Ryobi. But they got the updated battery platform, which is what I really like about them. I have some Ryobi stuff, and I'm not a fan of the battery platform that they use. I think they're fantastic for the weekend warrior DIYer kind of stuff. Barbecue 76, $2.76 super chat says, Mrs. Bear has showed up. Now we have a proper live stream. Is that hippos and bears?
Hippos, bears. I love hippos and bears.
Anyway, and full disclosure, Hart has sent us stuff in the past, but we've also bought a lot of Hart stuff. They sent us the 40-volt trimmer and blower, but then we also bought the lawnmower ourselves. Yep. They sent us some other stuff, and then we bought more stuff ourselves. So we're probably about half and half. But anyway, I just always like to disclose, relationships we have, unlike a lot of the channels out there. I'm getting bitter in my old age. Jim says, I got the vid too. Did you get a test to confirm? Me neither. I took the word of for. No, I basically talked to some, called the local place, and they're like, yeah, we're not recommending testing. They're like, based on your symptoms, we're just going to assume that you have it. Thanks. Fred says, had my back injected about a week ago. It doesn't seem like it completely worked. I'm wondering if I have to go have back surgery. No more COVID shots, period. Oh,
man.
Back surgery is just not fun, man. I've luckily have never had it, but I have several friends who had it, and it always seems to be a roll of the dice, really. Mm-hmm.
Well, and anything that you're doing with your back, I can only speak from epidural standpoint, that it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it works totally fine, and sometimes it's only one side is going to be affected.
Barbecue 76 says, the common cold that's been around forever is a strain of COVID. We've seen how they have been able to cure the common cold. Why are they not talking about that? The Reverend Smith says, it's all about the money. My stepfather was in pharmaceuticals for years. And by saying in pharmaceuticals, he worked his way up from entry-level sales up to senior management kind of stuff, nationwide kind of stuff. And the one, I think the biggest takeaway is they are there for the money, and curing something doesn't help your bottom line. Treating something, that's where the money is. Levick says, vaccine does not prevent you from getting COVID. That was a lie, spread early by Fauci. All the vaccine does is lower your symptoms. My wife had it 2 days. She was done. I'm not, took 4 days. Here's the other thing. They talk about like, well, you need it for Omicron and that because it will help reduce the symptoms. But Omicron is supposed to be a lighter version of it anyway. So is it really reducing the symptoms or is everyone just getting it whole hog and they just think it's less because it's the Omicron variant? Again, not a doctor, not trying to claim I'm a doctor, just asking reasonable questions that most people I feel should be asking. Let's see here. Fred says, sad the RV dealers are saying that the inventory coming out Elkhart are garbage, the worst in 30 years. That's the one thing I was really beating myself up. I forgot to include in the video. The reason we didn't, the ultimate deciding factor why we did not buy a brand new one is because, and honestly, I was able to find a brand new model that was very similar. It was almost the exact same one as the one we're looking at, except it had one less entrance. So where the bathroom is, it didn't have a door going out there. But otherwise, it was practical, and it had a smaller outdoor kitchen. Those were the only two things that was different, and it was brand new, full warranty for $30,000. So we would then spend up, we probably could have talked him down a couple hundred, and basically would have been a difference of $5,000. Which at that point, to get a brand new one, well, why not? Well, I told her I don't want a new one. I don't want anything made in 2020, like not the 2020 model year, which of course came out like 2019, stuff like that, but actually made in 2020 or newer because they've been rushing production so hard. And you got to realize, and this is what RVs are, they're junk to begin with. Okay, they are not good construction. They're not, the super high end ones that'll cost you $300,000 are fantastic, but
right. A
cardboard box on wheels that has a what do you call it, a 7 on the Richter scale earthquake every time you drive down the road.
True, but I think the other thing is most people aren't living in them. I think that is happening more and more.
Yeah,
and so that might be a change in the industry. But the reality is they're not built to be lived in every single day all the time.
They're a cardboard box on wheels.
Okay, I don't want to think about being in a cardboard box on wheels. I hear what you're saying.
Well, it makes them easy to work on too.
Yeah.
But you just have an open mind and be aware of what you're getting into. Mm-hmm. And once you understand that it changes everything. Sean says, $4.99, a small contribution to your first gallon of gas as you haul your new RV to Vegas. Thank you so much.
By the time we get on the road, that would be like half a gallon of gas.
Oh my gosh.
Prices seem to be going bananas. Thank you so much, Sean. I super appreciate it. That was super generous.
And Barbecue 76 says $2. Nailed it with a pharmaceutical. Lots of money. Oh, yeah.
And Groovejet, I do see you saying, hi, guys. How are you still awake? It's got to be like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my gosh. And my insomnia has just been.
I have insomnia really, really bad. Really bad. And so I think Jeff was like, are you poisoning me? Are you giving me your insomnia?
Yeah.
Because it was bad. He was really bad.
Barbecue 76 says, that's the second or third time I've seen you sip from that glass. The last sip was when you said you need a cough drop. Okay, what's in the glass? It is, sorry, nothing exciting. It's Pepsi Zero. I'm not drinking.
We are not sponsored by.
No, but if Pepsi Zero, Coke Zero, usually I drink Coke Zero, but the reality is no, I'm not drinking any alcohol right now. And I've got some sitting right here on the table. Don't judge me. These are left over from our Christmas special. We got a whole bunch of these little bottles over here.
Aww.
Anyway, nothing hard tonight. I need to keep the system from melting down, as it were. Fred says, so Earthquake and Chicago Electric are dead? Dead. At least the battery version of Earthquake, the air version of Earthquake is going to stick around. Richard says, what do you recommend for headlight cleaner? That's a good question. I've been going through a whole bunch of stuff with headlight cleaners. I'm really disappointed. I tried the one from, who is it? Makes that ceramic stuff for the firearms industry. Yep. And I was disappointed with the quality of that thing. So I've not found one yet that I'm willing to recommend.
But stay tuned.
Yeah. Wings and Pizza says, dental's my opinion. Politics and the media are why we don't have a broader scope of info in regards to COVID. Really a shame. Probably right there. B-Madge2 says, best deal. Don't know of any hot deals right now. Stay tuned for deals of the week. Is brushless absolutely necessary? Let's see here. Well, I built houses. I was in the trades for 15 years, between construction and running electrical and Ethernet, and not electrical, but Ethernet and fiber. And we never had brushless tools. My grandfather built houses his whole life. Never had brushless tools. So, no, not necessary at all. Michael says, sent you and the bride a link to a doctor's talk I attended about keeping from catching this COVID thing. Hope it helps. Sorry about that. Fred says, oops, Porter Cable is dead. Yep, Porter Cable is, sadly, a goner. Jason says, hey, Jeff, opinion on Snow Joe's snowblowers. Glad you're doing better. Cheers for some out there. I wish. I'll be honest. If I was going to get a snowblower, for a lot of the other stuff, you can, like trimmers and blowers, you can go, almost anybody can get that job done. Mowers, you got to step up to a slightly better quality of product. And for snowblowers, you got to step. The only snowblower I would buy right now would be an Ego when I'm going electric. Until the Toro one, I think, is also pretty good, but it's also really stupid expensive. And it doesn't have a whole line like Ego does. If I'm buying an electric snowblower today and it's my money, I'm buying an Ego. I wouldn't even think about it, anything else. Fred says we never get ice. And Infernal Craftsman says the bargain unbranded 60-gallon air compressor can be had at farm stores, but the output is lower. Camp Haas makes a lot of the 1680-gallon rebranded. Try a real local compressor supplier. And Jackal JB says, good to see you. Glad. Hope you're well.
We can speak English sometimes.
Unholy Red says it's been as low as -8 here in Townsend, Montana. Yeah. Hold on. Jumping all over on me. Where'd we go?
I thought you just flew by yourself.
Flew by myself. Oh, Dolly Parton, 76 years old today. I thought it was the other day, but yes.
I thought it was like the 19th.
Something like, yeah. And happy birthday to her. She's fantastic.
She's amazing.
The wife is still mad at me that I have not taken her to Dollywood yet.
Just saying, we could go.
Hiram says, you should never be either starting or canceling any given line of credit unless you know you had zero balance and all your debts are paid. Probably true. Jimmy says, if you have a purchase you're considering, do it now. That's what we're doing. We're expecting that prices for the rest of the year are going to go up. Mm-hmm. And they're going to go up all year long. And so we're trying to get them all in right now because A, we're still in Montana where there's no sales tax, and B, the prices aren't going to get any better than they are right now.
And I'm not a super downer about most things. I do just want to say as a general PSA to everyone, and I would say this if I ran into you on the street, I think everybody has noticed that things are taking longer to get here and to arrive from wherever they're coming from, and my Fitbit's freaking out. Medicine. If you need medicine or you need if you can't live without your special whatever seasoning, buy it the next time you're at the store.
Because the supply chain.
Yeah, the supply chain is totally bananas right now.
And it's just going to get worse. And
whether it's, the big C or a cold or whatever, it's hard to find, common cold stuff, medicine. So that's my big thing. And again, if you have a favorite seasoning or a favorite whatever, buy it when you see it. And that's just a good rule of thumb for right now.
Z-Torrent says, snagged a DW 735X for $540 just after New Year's. You love a crush box deal. That's an awesome deal on that right now. Prices on that they're like, $650, something like that right now. Wohawk says, how's the meth lab? My German Shepherd is using me as a pillow right now. She's doing pretty good. I think she's got a little bit of stirred craziness. She could tell things. That's the thing. She knows when we start packing up that something's going on. We're going someplace. So every time we go towards the door, she's like, instantly right there, like, are we leaving? You're not leaving me behind.
I had the kids cleaning out the back of the truck today before we went on an errand, and she was like desperately trying to get into the truck. She was like, "You're gonna leave me." I'm like, "We're gonna be right back."
How many times have we left you?
But it's just that she feels that
Never.
anxiety.
Fred says, my wife went to the store today. She bought bacon. Wait for it. A package of bacon is now over $2 a package. It used to be, $12 a package? Are you serious? Good thing we got a bunch of bacon in the freezer.
I was going to say, we have a lot of bacon in our freezer.
Shannon Dunsworth, welcome, Cub. Thank you for joining and becoming a member.
And welcome
Do your
for...
little member dance.
I feel like there's a little bells. Okay,
was.
now. Also, thank you for having a super cute dog. That is a cute picture.
Humley says, one of my regrets on my Vegas trip a few years ago was not watching Penn and Teller. I want to see the bullet trick live. Barbecue 76 says, the DMV is a great example. Now picture going to the DMV with a health problem.
Yeah. Homily 665. Hey, good evening. Says member for 27 months.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much. Awesome. I hope that things are going well with your house. I would love to hear an update.
I will say this. I want to take this back about what I said about the DMV. The DMV here in Montana is awesome. You feel like you're in the 50s. Like you just walk in, they know your name. What can I do for you? Yada, yada, yada. They're so nice, and you're in and out so quick. It's
and
nothing.
They have license plates or whatever you need.
When we moved from California to Vegas, my first thought was, thank goodness, I can't wait to go to the DMV. It's going to be a pleasant experience. It's going to be easy.
Yep.
It's worse.
Yep.
The DMV in Vegas is insane.
Yep.
It is. It's like something out of, was it 1984 or something? It is terrifying.
Dizzy Man Design says, hello from Ohio. Hello.
Hello. Tom says, hello, Mrs. Bear. Edward says, Washington said that we don't need political parties. Of course they don't. They just want one. Fred says, beef, pork, etc. is all gone up 27%.
Yeah.
Nelson says, good to see you. So, and you too, sir. Car guy. DWS 779, 12-inch, miter saw good at 400. It might be. That is not the sale price that I am used to getting. And I definitely don't. A lot of guys, we have a lot of issues with a lot of guys who follow this channel going, I'll never shop at Harbor Freight because they raised their prices on their sandpaper by 5 cents or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and they're quoting prices like, 20 years ago, I used to be able, I'm like, oh my gosh, sound like my grandfather. When I was your age, I used to be able to buy so-and-so for a nickel. And I'm like, you're half a step from being out on the lawn going, yelling at the kids. Not you, I'm talking about them. But I feel like I'm getting to that point because I see the DWS 779 at $400 and going, who would pay that much? But that's the going price on that saw right now. And I don't know if it's going to go down. I really don't. If you buy it from someplace where that they will price adjust if something happens in the next 30 days, because maybe over President's Day sale or something will change. But unfortunately, that's the new normal for that saw.
Adam Bennett with a $20 super chat. Hey, Adam.
Hey.
It says at Fontana, California, Flying J truck stop. Been waiting on a new headlight unit for 4 days. Back ordered, still waiting. Love you guys. I am so sorry that you are stuck there. I am so glad to hear from you, as always. Thank you so much for the donation. And I super hope that they get that in soon. That is awful. Also, Steven, I did see your comment saying that you live in Tennessee and have an Airbnb. Send me an email.
Good for you, man. That is some smart money.
Not far from Dollywood. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We got to find a reason to go there.
Dollywood, that is the reason.
When we were looking at RVs, one of the ones that we fell in love with was in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And boy, we were trying to make okay, we could stop here, and I'm like, and she's not even thinking about it. I'm like, you realize we go on a little dog leg south and hit Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge.
Because someone still hasn't taken me to Gatlinburg. Whatever.
And my daughter overhears us, and she is like, we're getting the one in Jersey. That's what's going to happen.
She's like, that's the one we're doing.
That's the one I want right there. I'm like, you haven't seen it. Doesn't matter. That's the one I want. And no, it was weird because it was like a 2016 and they wanted like brand new trailer prices on it.
Well, and that's the thing is prices have been ridiculous. And I do feel like we did a lot of research. I was dreaming about RVs. I was like waking up, sort of having nightmares going, oh my gosh, what did we buy? Does it not have a toilet? You know, all those things.
Well, the key is we're buying from a dealership. It's because dealers, they do what they call floor planning or vehicles. So they buy stuff on credit. They put it on their lot, and they have a figure of like each spot in that lot has X amount of dollars assigned to it, and that money has to roll over every so often. And if it doesn't, then it goes back to the auction or wherever, and they clear it out and they move on to the next item. The theory being that whatever you bought just isn't hot enough to sell, and you have to constantly be turning that wheel. So on anything, whether it's cars or trailers or boats or houses, my key is always buy it sometime between the first of the year and the end of February. I actually prefer mid-February, to be honest. The sweet spot is the last week of January, first week of February. It is the cold, dead heart of winter, and nobody's buying anything. And you can go into a dealership, and at one time, we're buying a car one time, and I was on an auto row, like, you know, dealerships as far as you can see, and the guy's like trying to hardball me on the price, and I look, and I'm sitting up near the front as I'm walking out, and he's still trying to sell me that I need to pay full price for this thing, and I go like this, I look that way, I'm like, I am the only person buying a car right now, the only person. I can go from dealership to dealership to dealership. I'm not wed to any one vehicle. I just need something that meets these specs at this price point. And I'm going to go down. I'm going to go next door to your competitor, go over there, go over somewhere, and I'm going to get a car today. The question is, who wants to get the sales commission on? Is it going to be you or is it going to be somebody else? And he's like, well, I can't do it. I'm like, okay. I get in the truck. As I'm getting ready to leave, the sales manager comes running out. And it was basically the same situation here. Is I offered them a lowball price. The salesperson was like, I can't do that. Sorry. I'm like, okay. He's like, well, if you reconsider, I'm like, I'm not going to reconsider. I'm like, I've got all these places I can travel to buy an RV. And it's the middle of winter. I'm the only person right now buying an RV. He's like, well, you know, come spring. I'm like, if you want to sit on it till spring, that is totally up to you. But if you want to sell something this month and get your numbers up and not make them look terrible, then I'm the only option you got. And the sales manager called me back literally 3 minutes after I hung up the phone from the guy and agreed to the deal. Private sellers don't do that. Private sellers aren't in it to make money every single day. So they're more than willing to hold on to it until March or April when the season ramps back up. So anyway, that's my professional tip of the day. Steven says, hi from Kingsport, Tennessee. I bet I'm like 5 years behind at this point, aren't I?
Maybe like 3.5 years.
And Sam says, hello, glad to see you. And Mrs. there, always enjoy the headgear she wears. Greg says, hello, Mrs. DeBear.
Heavy.
Ed says, geez, she scared the heck out of me. All I saw is this huge silver thing behind you getting closer.
Ba-na.
RJ says, what do you think was behind your whole year expansion of Flex Founders Warranty? I think that, honestly, it was a combination of they saw people using the tools and they saw how much the warranty was getting used. Because you can do all the testing in the world, but until your stuff hits real world situations in numbers, you won't really know exactly how good is the thing that you've got out there. And they're seeing that, and I think a lot of companies see this also, that there just isn't that much use of the warranty. You know, a lot of people honestly will buy a tool, have it die, and they're like, it's too much of a fuss to go through the warranty, I'll just buy a new one. And so I think they see it as a kind of a loss leader, that hoping that most people won't use it or they won't need it. And I talked to them ahead of time. I said, what are the chances you're going to extend it? This was back in September. And they said there was something they were open to, but they weren't willing to commit on anything at that time. Well, they've committed. The Levick says, any thoughts on the digital master-built electric smoker with see-through window, quality and good? I'm not a fan of electric smokers. I've never, I tried to catch it.
That's my phone.
I've just never been a fan of them. I know a lot of people use them and they love them, but just not my thing, so I can't really comment on it. Gary says, once you look at Mrs. Bear's antlers, the two middle fingers, you can't unsee it. Yes, I have said that as well. Looks like Mickey Mouse telling you where to go. Love the Bike
saying
says,
you're number one.
Love the Bike says, how much of a price increase is there supposed to be on the first? Depends on which company you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen 5 to 15% across the board. And I think, honestly, when they say that, I think they're hedging the numbers, like saying, like, it's only going to be 5, but really it's going to be 10 to 20.
I've heard higher. So, I mean, I think it just depends on what it is.
Fred says, gas or diesel? Are you asking for a recommendation? Because we're driving the Ram, which is a diesel. The Cummins, it's the big one there. And Sam says, if he does want to go in the military, I would highly recommend the military before school. And then when he gets out, he can take his GI Bill to auto mechanic school. That's what I did. And I've told him as much as well. Are you near the Yellowstone Ranch? Well, there is no quote unquote Yellowstone Ranch, but there are several ranches that call themselves Yellowstone Ranch, and they've been around for years.
I think that they mean the ranch that's featured in the Yellowstone show.
As far as where it's allegedly supposed to be, we're
right there.
10 minutes from there.
We're in Park County.
Yeah, where it is.
That's exactly where it is.
It's legit down the road.
Yeah.
Ed York says Cubs should definitely go Army versus Marines when he signs up. Job is guaranteed. Fred says leave it to California to ban generators. Oh my gosh. Yep. That state is just anything any other state goes. They're like, hold my beer.
Caleb, have a good night. Says God bless you all.
Colin says, glad you guys are back live. How is the BMW? So we left the BMW in Vegas, and my ex-wife left it with her, and she's been driving it like once or twice a month to keep it going. And apparently, there's an issue. The parking brake handle is broken on it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't use the parking brake. Well, what did she do? She used the parking brake and got stuck.
She forgot.
So my son called me the other day, and over the phone, I walked him through it, and he fixed it. I'm pretty happy with him about that one. Wilhawk says, Moto reminded me of economical unlocked. I need an economical unlocked cell phone. Remember, I'm on disability, so money beyond tight. Yeah, there's some good, cheap Moto phones out there, and they don't have a bunch of kind of, adware or bloatware or whatever you want to call it in it. I'm a huge fan of these phones. Larry says, I drove through Knoxville, Tennessee yesterday and passed 3 RV sales parks. They're running over with RVs for sale. That's the thing is and I guess I kind of missed saying that in the video, but they've been empty up until recently, but now they've all got a ton of supply because it's winter and they've been just shoving stuff through. Problem is, what they've been putting through is pretty haphazard. Inferno says, howdy, thanks for the reply on my email. I'll be keeping an eye out in the mail. Take care, Mr. and Mrs. Red. Thank you, sir. Mike says, I inherited my dad's 1950 Savage 12-gauge semi-auto Widowmaker that needs some more parts replaced, but I've heard it's a decent fire stick. Sounds good. I like that. And Sam says, how likely is it you had the flu or regular cold than COVID, as there was no official diagnosis? Who knows? I don't know. See, here's the thing. I've had like the flu before. This was way worse than the flu, but I had COVID last year, and who knows with lasting repercussions based on my respiratory system, if then getting the flu a year after that would make it worse.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's difficult.
Mohawk says, I did a cool, in my opinion, hack on my Hart impact driver, glued a magnet on for bits and parts on board. I need a stronger magnet. I've seen, were you the one who sent me that? Somebody sent me something about that. I have seen people do that, and I've also seen like the add-on ones you can bolt on or clip on or glue on, all this other stuff. I have never been a fan of having bits on the tool. Don't know why. It bothers me. I don't like it. The Wilhawk says, no date set, but we're having back fusion surgery sooner than later.
Ew.
That's tough, man. Let us know how it goes. Give us a heads up beforehand. We can say some prayers. Grove Jet says, hi, you guys. Jackal says, according to my spine doctor years ago, spinal fusion has about a 50% success rate. I went with the back brace and lifting carefully instead. That's kind of what I was seeing. Like when I said that before, my thought is, it seemed in my head, I'm thinking like it's like 50-50. I'm not surprised. The James says, great to you, back at it. I just got into Vive investing. Was wondering, what are your thoughts on NFTs? I am still trying to figure out the whole NFT market. Not willing at this point to say this is what I think about it. I'm still trying to understand all the nuances there. Steven says, ever thought about doing a working boot recommendation? No. And here's the reason. I mean, I could get feedback from you all, and I guess I could do that. But I have size 15 feet, and they're as wide as they are long. I just sent back yet probably like my 5th pair of boots that I've ordered. I've tried getting boots locally.
This is the smile if I've tried.
Yeah. I've got like Bigfoot, like Yeti feet, and just nothing fits right. This is one of the main reasons why I wear Crocs. Not because I love the stylish look of them. They are fantastic, though, let's be honest. Fred says, so then that's COVID light? Yeah, I guess. Bill says, my Craftsman miter saw won't cut accurate 45 degrees. What saw should I get in the $600 range? If you're willing to spend $600 on a miter saw, I am going for, personally, I'm either getting the Bosch Glide or the Hitachi. Those are the two choices I would go if I'm willing to spend that kind of money. The Fred says, by spring, they say gas prices will be over $4 a gallon. Oh, that's fantastic. Let's see here. Lou, why the COVID talk? I thought this was a tool/YouTube channel. We do talk tools, but this is kind of a live chat talking about us, the family, and everything else. If you've been around the channel, you know we talk about all sorts of stuff. And why COVID? Well, because
it's a thing.
I've had it at least once, probably twice. So has the rest of the family. Hammond says, and I'm just now getting over it. Hammond says, technically your grandfather's tools were brushless. No, they had power tools. Michael says, it's 2100 hours Eastern time. Need to let the dog out for a pedal off to bed. Keep it sane. Mike in Virginia Beach. You take care, sir. Right before I got a new brushless toothbrush. It's great. Dwayne says, for headlights, McGuire works for me. And Steven says, a whole lot of deals for tools laying in the railway. Heyman says, I live here in Dollywood. It's kind of boring. Oscar says, have there been any Craftsman updates on the Texas tool plant? I've not heard anything. I will look into it. Michael says, I used to fix radios for Dollywood. They had the cutest gripe sheet to request service with. Fred says, you ever heard about the guy who built a snowblower using a V8 engine? It could blow snow over the roof. Yes, I think I did see that.
Yeah.
Only Red says, Jeff, not much of an excuse with the upcoming RV to get out of taking Mrs. Bear to Dollywood. Shush.
That's right.
You are not helping.
That's right.
We're going the wrong direction.
I know. We're not going to Dollywood. That's the wrong direction. Why does that look that way?
Because I made it look that way. We're not going across the Mississippi.
That's what you think.
I'm driving, so I know.
Just going to say Idaho.
Ken says, USPS is only delivering mail once a week here in eastern Iowa. A lot of the carriers have COVID. Ouch. And Sam says, when it comes to health, I think the VA would be a better comparison than the DMV. Anthony says the DMV in Las Vegas is a nightmare. But at least they have a concession stand.
I was going to say they do have like a food.
Because they know you're going to be there that long.
Like all day. Like you're going to eat all of your meals there.
Fred says the biggie right now is A, the container ships off California, and B, the shortages going out of China. It's also drivers out with COVID, drivers who can't work now because of COVID, because they won't get the shot. It's insane.
Tom A says best friend has been confirmed having COVID 3 times. 3rd time, never knew it.
Oh. Steven says, I live in Tennessee. We have an Airbnb. Okay. That's the one I read before, or you read before. Mm-hmm. Wohawk says, every morning I walk the dog to Casey's, a local gas station chain. They love my dog. They feed him breakfast pizza and sandwiches every day, and he gets the daily bacon. I'll be honest, I've heard so much about pizza in Iowa at the gas station pizza at Casey's. And they didn't have that. People ask me, knowing I'm from Iowa, like, oh, is that good? I'm like, they didn't have it when I lived there. That wasn't a thing. Barbecue 76 says, I don't think anything could be worse than the California DMV, but then again, government ineptitude is everything I've come to expect. Yes, it is. Don't ever underestimate how bad the government can make things. I've come to expect it. I still allow it somehow to surprise me, though. Yep, me too.
Someone is suggesting a place where they got shoes, so I'm looking them up right now before I forget.
Don't go to Lynchville, Kentucky. I thought that was in Tennessee, so. Is there a Lynchville, Kentucky, too? Fred says, have you heard about the amount of snow that Truckee, California, Dodgers passed? Yes. It's ridiculous. We've got some friends of the family that are in the Lake Tahoe area.
Yep.
And, whoa, the rail, I love watching videos of that train with the snowblower on the front of it.
Yep.
Reminds me of the sandworms from Arrakis.
Yep. Inferno 224 says, don't get gas station sushi. I agree.
Yeah,
it's a good plan.
I will say that, but you know what? The sushi at the Albertsons here is not bad.
Yes, Albertson sushi is delicious.
They actually have someone here who makes it daily. Or at least they used to. Lewis says, Thoughts Porter Cable 50-inch drill press, $300 in clearance at Lowe's. For $300, that's not a bad deal. Really, it isn't. I don't have as much of an... Well, I mean, it's a good drill press. I don't know what warranty is going to be like, that kind of stuff, but at $300, I think I'd be willing to pull the trigger on that.
Just a reminder, folks, we are no politics. We're a family-friendly channel.
Yeah, unless I go on a tyrant. Tyrant? Tyrant.
No, you're the tyrant.
Fred says, my little brother sold his Class C and bought a used Class A diesel pusher. He got a great deal. Wife passed away, so he needed to sell it. Kids were pushing him. That's sad. Yeah, you know, I guess I've been thinking about it. I'm going to do another video on this. The Class A's, the best use for Class A is the couple who's traveling by themselves, maybe with grandkids, who want to just pull up, put the anchors down, and be done. That's what Class A's are good for. Maybe towing a small vehicle behind it so you can get around once you get there. We had a Class A with the whole family, and it's a bit much. And we were not towing another vehicle, and that made doing anything next to impossible because you couldn't like park in town or any place or any kind of stuff, any of the kind of touristy places you would go. That's one of the reasons that pushed us towards a tow version rather than that because now you've got your shuttle vehicle. Once you set up a base camp, you already have it there. Mike says, did you get to enjoy the thumb drive? I have not, honestly. We've been meaning to, but it is, my brain's been so fuzzy that sitting there and getting it hooked up to the TV and stuff, I just haven't had the energy to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Maybe in the RV. That'll be good content for when we're traveling. Fred says, oldest bear, mechanic, gas. Probably gas. He's into... I pushed him. I'm like, hey, maybe you want to go diesel. Maybe you want to go marine. Maybe you want to go aviation.
Yep.
He wants to build drift cars.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I told him, like, hey, if you want to go this route, like, go deep into it, become the guy who knows everything, and start building your own vehicles. Don't become a service tech. And no offense to you all who are out there who are service techs, but I'm of the mindset of that you got to work for yourself. Working for other people just sucks. And I listen to a lot of mechanics who talk about they love what they do, but they hate their job. And the industry is just, it's all set up against the tech out there. They just crush their body until there's nothing left, and maybe have something left for retirement. So many people are injured and just in pain by the time they put down the wrench. So I'm like, I would rather see him like building cars for SEMA, doing custom kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I'm going. James says, "Hey Bear, what are your Super Bowl predictions?" I predict, and I'm not going to be wrong about this, that I will not watch the Super Bowl.
That was literally going to be my prediction for you.
I used to be a huge football fan. Mm-hmm. I played football. I watched college ball. I grew up, I had the helmet as a little kid with the Chicago Bears on it, sitting there watching Walter Payton. I mean, I don't often get starstruck, but I ended up in a restaurant with Walter Payton literally sitting next to me. And I just sat there the whole time like giggling. I was so excited. And that was just a grown man. And, they did everything they could to push me away from it, and they succeeded. So cheers to them. I will watch hockey every so often, and the UFC. Well, this last UFC was a little bit of a disappointment, though. DIY generators. Get a bunch of hamsters and hook them up. Bam. The only problem with that is that they end up eating each other. Jake says, I've been an auto mechanic since 1996. Push him higher. Maybe mechanical engineering or something, as Jake just said. I started off in the trades. I did construction. I started off at the very bottom, like, carrying stuff up hills and carrying out garbage and just doing all the kind of crap work. And I always set my heights for what's the next job? What's the next job? How do I make more money? How do I get this job? And then once I got that job, I'm like, okay, where do I want to go next? How do I get this job? And that's why a lot of people try to give me crap like, you haven't been in the trades and blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, heaven forbid I worked my way up into management and then moved, and made myself better. Tom says, any plans for next Bears Dens live chat? Well, we're planning to do at least one more from here on the 30th. And then we'll be on the road probably by the week after that, depending on how things go. So I'm not sure how we're going to be able to do it from the road. We'll try. We'll definitely try. If you've been around the channel, we like doing stuff on the road.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a while since we've done a live stream from the road, but we have definitely done them. Some of you oldie but goodies have seen our snowstorms in Vegas.
If we can get a cell booster and do some live streaming from the road, that would be fun.
Yep. Bella would be like, hello, hi, I'd like to eat something. Snacks.
Rohawk says, yeah, I did a YouTube video on my magnet and the impact mod I sent you. I knew I saw it somewhere. Between recovering and meds,
his brain's
and my insomnia,
foggy.
It's like, I think I saw something. It could have just been the universe talking to me. It happens.
Did I have a dream? Did I think that?
Yes. Disneyman Design says, I have a 24 by 32 foot garage. What would be a best cheap way to heat it?
How tall?
Yeah, height is a real issue when it comes to heating because heat rises. That's my issue here. Where I'm sitting, I've got 15 plus foot ceilings, and all the heat just goes right up there. The best way, cheap's a relative terms. The cheapest way would be a wood burning stove. If you can get a wood burning stove in there, that's a fantastic way to. Wood burning stoves just emanate heat. And once you get the balance just right, you get those coals to stoke and just keep burning. That's a fantastic way. Next would be getting 220 in there and running a real shop heater off of 220. It's just a more efficient way of doing it. Other than that, you're looking at electric heat or forced air heat kind of stuff. They're cheap just isn't really the word there. Charles says, Jeff, when you read this in 9 hours, look at JK Boots. I traced my feet on a piece of paper, mailed it to them. They made 100% custom boots to my feet, made in Spokane, Washington. Ooh.
I did not see that. So JK Boots. Somebody else recommended a place. I think it said New Hampshire.
Jake says $4 gas isn't far off. It's around $3.45 for 87 octane outside of Chicago. $1 more in the city. What is it here for diesel? It's like $3.75, $3.80, isn't it?
Yeah, and I always try to find the cheapy way to get it.
Zav says NFT is just digital verification of something using blockchain technology. I know it's a non-fungible token kind of thing. Doesn't convey rights or anything. You could make an NFT of this show tonight and give it to someone. Tom says best friend has been confirmed 3 times with COVID, like we talked. I don't know how to pronounce that. Thought I was a size 14 double white shoe, always busting at the outside. I was hair away from paying $500 for custom shoes. There we go. All right. And is that the one you were talking about? Yeah. The one
Yes. So I've basically entered all of those into my Google search so that I can look at them later. I will tell you, finding shoes for him is insane. Basically, I have not found shoes for him. I mean, we've gone the $500 route, and
that was
still not.
Turns out I'm a 12.6 wide. Alex had it in stock. Wow. In Silence, the summer of 2021, I went to Iowa for a work trip. The gas station pizza was pretty good.
Yay.
The Jen Gonzalez says, welcome back. Brian says, tell the Cub to pay attention of sign-on bonuses rather than the branch of service. This is from my cousin, an LT colonel in the U.S. Army.
Yep. And nothing's real unless it's in writing.
Yeah, nothing's real unless it's in writing. Where'd we go here?
KJ said, sign up with Costco, get 15 to 20 cents cheaper, which is true, except if you are looking for diesel.
Oh, yeah, because they don't have it. Jim says, I can't beat the constant weariness since the vid, so I'm off to bed. Prayers for your health, Jim. You know what? I'm feeling it myself right now. It's 7:32, and I'm feeling pretty tired. Lynchburg is in Tennessee. See? Tom says, tooltip, a lot of lower priced drill presses don't have chuck key holder. $90 2-pack Harbor Freight magnet. One holds the key anywhere you want it. I use those little metal dishes everywhere, and on my drill press, I pop it right in there and throw the key in that thing. Best headlight polish I've ever used is Mother's Mag and aluminum polish. Blessed and Happy says, is it just me or does it look like your antler? Yes, it does. Ian says, you must go to Alex there. You'll find shoes while you're there. And Trolling says, if I buy an RV, it would be a Super C or a fifth wheel. The Super Cs are cool, especially the really big ones.
Yep.
And I think, but it was, it was money. It was, cost effectiveness. And just not wanting to put out that kind of cash right now. Nobody beats Tecpo. Greg says 5 a.m. comes early, so night all. Jake says I roll on a 15 EE myself. Rock Alpha Force is where it's at for boots.
Okay.
Timothy says, just wondering if you received a package with some AR-15 stuff. I did. Was that you? I opened that up. I'm like, mags. Woo, it's all mags. It's nothing but mags.
Yep, we did indeed.
Which is awesome. Thank you so much. That's one of those things.
Truly not feeling well that day.
Yeah.
Because I think when you opened it, your eyeballs were like, I'm obviously not seeing what I think I'm seeing. Like, he was very sick.
Well, usually I get packages from companies all the time, so I'm just opening it up and I'm like, what company would send me a whole bunch of AR mags? and I'll be honest, I forgot about it. I went probably right to sleep right after that, and I didn't remember that until you said something right now, and all of a sudden I'm like, I've got boxes of AR mags sitting at home.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gosh, this brain thing sucks. Hunter says, as a bigger shoe guy myself, I get most of my clothes and shoes at a place called Destination XL. Oh, we know Destination XL so well. Yeah. Google user says, I have a 2004 Ford F-150. I gave up cleaning the headlights, just bought new ones from Advanced. That's kind of where I'm at, because the other thing is when it comes to cleaning the headlights, and you have to clean them again every 6 months or so once you take that initial polish off. Now, there's these companies that say, well, we got a ceramic glaze we put on, so that doesn't happen. I tried that, and that is not exactly what I found. So at this point, like even with the pickup truck, I'm to the point of like, maybe I'll just buy new headlights for it. Fred says the NFL is so woke now I won't watch it either. It's just ridiculous. Fred says I haven't watched the NFL in over 6 years. Jackal says big respect to Walter Payton. He was a great football player. Zaf says any input on front site restructuring email by Dr. Piaz. Also curious about your right tools. Know you were sick. Yeah, I'm just getting back to getting that stuff sent out right now this week. Yeah. So that's going to happen. Don't worry, that's happening. As far as front site, I'm a lifetime member. I don't know why I didn't get an email on that.
Yeah, that's weird.
I used to get tons of emails from them. Too many. I may honestly have put them in my spam filter at one point.
I was just thinking that, but I wasn't going to say that.
Jim says the biggest problem with many larger cities for automotive business is the cities or counties don't want any automotive, and landlords don't want auto. Yeah, a lot of landlords are like, open for all sorts of businesses except marijuana and automotive. And I'm like, really?
Because they're not
Aren't
the
there
same.
a lot of marijuana automotive businesses out there? But no, yeah, I get it.
I'm sure someone's going to Google that now and let us know.
Stephen Beasley says, did you try out the Yes Welder? No, I've not been really out of the house. This is really my first time sitting down and spending a decent amount of time at the shop.
Yep.
Steven says that moment you resort to using groove joint pliers to open a 2-liter Diet Pepsi that has a lot of carbonation. I'm not saying I've ever done that because I wouldn't admit to it if I did. But, if it works, right? John says, I got a DeWalt Tough System for Christmas. Got a Den of Tools box, a sticker on it. Going to put a Den of Tools sticker on next.
Yay.
Fred says Northern California gas is $6. Oh my
gosh. And you know what? I keep thinking, like, every time we talk about our gas, then I think about Europe and I'm like, we really need to be quiet. Because their fuel prices are astronomical.
Linda says that her oldest son wears a size 16.
Yep.
Ouch. Fertile Craftsman says cheapest heat is a waste oil heater if you produce enough used oil to feed it. But the heater itself is the most expensive you can buy per BTU. Yeah. Barbecue 76, $10.76 super chat. Go ahead.
I believe we're all still waiting skin tight skirt. I'm pretty sure no one wants to see that. However, we won't wait forever. Make it happen. Sarah, kilt or comedy? Maybe both. It's a deal. It's a deal. That's true. It's happening.
It is happening. It's probably going to happen. We probably won't get it to we're shipping it to Vegas because we couldn't be guaranteed that by the time it got here, we would still be here. So it's going to be a Vegas thing. Maybe I'll wear it to out on the strip.
No one will notice. Not a single person.
That's the whole idea.
You know what? They will notice, and then they'll want to take a picture with you, and then I can charge them $20. Score. This is a great plan. I love it.
Sorry for barking like that into the microphone.
Barbecue 76. No, we have not forgotten. Jake, we haven't forgotten. Yes.
Mike says, with the heating issues along with the heater, I also suggest a ceiling fan or two to blow the heat down and circulate.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for mentioning that. That is a good idea. Fergus says Kroger with points. Are there Krogers in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. That's what.
Where?
Smith's is a Kroger company.
Oh, Smith's is a Kroger's.
For a second there, you had me like confusing myself. I was like,
so
what?
There are no Krogers.
No,
Smith,
it's Smith,
which is affiliate, but there's not.
Okay.
I'm picturing all of Vegas going. There's no sign that says Kroger's.
There actually might be one.
I'm gonna stab you with a spoon.
Wow, someone needs a snack.
Jan says, Mrs. Baird, do you have the Get Upside app on your phone for gasoline discounts?
I do. There aren't a ton near it. Well, there's one in town, Jan, but there's also there's another company that we were trying to see if we can get cheap gas through. But yes. And Levick 11 says, Smith's in Vegas is Kroger. Thank you for backing me up. I appreciate that. That's right.
Linda says, brain fog. At least it's not a brain cloud, because then I'd have to throw myself into a hole, And that one
Wait a
just went
second.
off,
Does that mean that I would get a vacation with really cool luggage?
Oh,
That's what I'm hearing.
But just think about it. We're responsible for Tonga, clearly.
That's terrible.
Fred says, we'll let you go to bed, so good night. Jordan says, do you have a deals video every Monday, new to the channel? So far, loving it. Missed the Milwaukee deal. Excuse me. I try to, unless something ridiculous comes up like COVID or, the end of the earth. We try to have it out every Monday. You know what? And I'll be honest. Let's talk about this real quick. I know we're getting towards the end here. I'm feeling a little burnout with the whole tools thing. Like, I feel like we're just rehashing the same thing we've been doing for years and years and years. If you have ideas for additional content that we should bring to the channel, send me an email, red@denatools.com. And we're going to see if we can, I don't want to go like completely crazy kind of stuff, but things that would be tool adjacent, if you would. Mm-hmm. So we can broaden, add a little bit of zip to the channel. Staff says, I'll forward you an email, but he's blank lifetime members big. AK, you're not a lifetime member unless you pay monthly fees now. Yeah, good luck with that. I got a contract.
Yep.
The highlights have a factory applied coating that blocks the UV damage. Once it's gone, it's an endless regime of polishing them all the time.
He meant headlights.
What did I say?
Highlights? Like in my hair?
My highlights?
Yeah, like your highlights.
Boy, I'm pretty...
Highlighty?
Whew.
And you're all mine.
Yes. All something. All the time. Jake says, what about the kilt? We talked about the kilt. Steven says, hey, it worked. That that wasn't coming open any other way. Oh, cool. Plasma cutter recommendations. Hard to say. Yes, Welder just sent me one. I've been meaning to test it. I've been out sick. Harbor Freight's got a good budget one. Who else has got a good budget? What's the other one? Ever or something? The green guys.
Yes.
Not EverQuest. That's a video game. Everlast.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Randy says, the best deal I found in Lowe's clearance was the landscape lighting. There was a Kisher brand items reduced from $40 to $10. I loaded up. Speaking of Lowe's, people are still finding that Skill 12-volt combo where you get like 5 tools and a speaker for $100.
Wow.
So it's still out there. Steven says, the bear for president 2024. What was the one we saw the other day? Beth Dutton for president.
I'm voting. Immediately.
Eric says, I have a race car shop in Ohio. If he wants a job in Ohio, I'm always looking for good help. Eric, I appreciate that, but you did say it was Ohio, and I'm allergic to Ohio.
Okay, but you're not going. Our son would be going, and the rest of our children love Ohio. Just ignore him.
I used to live in Cincinnati, so I can say that. Ohio. Sorry.
Owen's Jeep Stuff with a $10 super chat. Sorry I'm late. Good to see y'all back, Bear family. We are so glad to be back and feeling better, even though we're a little goofball. And don't worry about being late. We're just glad you're here.
Sorry, Barbecue 76 says, and Infernal Craftsman says, the Tonga volcano was caused by humans and climate change and racism. Daniel says, Icon Tools or Tecton or Gear Wrench. I would have to say all three. For sockets, Tecton. No question about it. For ratchets, and what else? Ratchets and something else I was trying to think of. I would go with Icon. I would go with Pittsburgh for a breaker bar. And for Gear Wrench, I don't know. I've been using like their Allen hex key wrenches. Those things are fantastic. The bolt biters, a lot of the specialty stuff. I like their gloves. They do have some good ratchets. I prefer the Icon, but they do have some good ratchets. And the pliers. I've really been enjoying the pliers.
Z, I think it's Torrance. So let me know if I totally butchered that. I super apologize. $3.01 super chat. I am loving it. It says, could you do a series on being your own handyman? I would say that sounds cool. Send us an email.
Well, since we're about to go into the RV for 3 months, we could definitely do some RV handyman stuff.
But if you have other, specific...
Yeah, if you got some specific ideas about that kind of stuff, feel free to send me an email, red@denatools.com. I'm always open for people to suggest ideas. Logan says, I just got the DeWalt corded random orbit sander. How do I know what speed I need it on? What would you use on slow versus fast? Boy, you got me on that one. There's a lot of people. We had a whole discussion. Most people just basically turn it up to high speed and never change it. There are some finishes when sanding and some specific woods I know that you do need to use a slower speed on, but I can't say off the top of my head because I can't think right now. But for the 99% of the time, you're never going to change the speed on it, unless you're doing those few particular types that need a slow speed. Barbecue 76 says, I've got lots of ideas to spice things up, and no, I'm not talking about kilt skirt. Email me and we'll chat. You were going to say something?
I was going to say, Jordan Miller said, tool stress test, ? Again, send an email just because we won't be able to keep all these straight. Send an email to Jeff. That's where you.
Red@denoftools.com.
Yes. Thank you.
Sorry, I was reading the next email. Furl Craftsman says, if you order me a size 42 utilikilt, I'll come out with a flying half and I'll walk the Vegas Strip with you. That would be an interesting
I'm telling
concept.
you guys are going to kill it. I envision perhaps a drink or 7.
Whoops, where'd we go there? Sorry. Major weakness. Have you seen the green icon tools? The green icon tools. I don't remember. I'm seeing pictures in my head of green tools, but I don't remember if they're icon or what. I do know not Earthquake. Apparently, Hercules are coming out with multicolored power tools, like the impact wrenches and such. I don't remember icon green tools. I could be wrong. Wait, was that it was like some specialty tool, wasn't it? Like, not nut drivers. It was that the hex drivers? Or the hex head and Allen wrench kind of stuff? John says, should I get a brushed or brushless multi-tool? For a multi-tool, if you can afford it, go brushless because they have such long run times. The brushless won't give you significantly more power per se, but it will extend the battery life, how long that battery will run on that tool. What do you think of SunX tools? Well, I can say this. I love SunX boxes. I think they have some of the coolest boxes in the industry. Their tools are decent. Some of their budget level stuff is really budgety, kind of not really up to the quality I thought it was going to be. Their other stuff is pretty decent. I will be honest, it's not all as great as a lot of people were telling me. At least I didn't think it was. But the tool cabinets are fantastic. And Salem says, I'm out. I'm tired. I need to shower. Head to bed. Good night, Bear Family. Good night to you, too.
Good night.
Dutch says, the advanced auto deal posts are killing me. So many posts. Zaf says, best way to heat a shop is in-floor heating, in my opinion. Well, yeah, if you can do that, that is a fantastic idea. Or just lighting the whole place on
how
fire.
is your shop heated?
Major weakness says, I saw a green T-handle hex. See? I pulled it out of nowhere. Let's see here. Tom says, missed the start of the kilt subject. Real men wear them. Our wedding was Scottish, and all my men wore them too. Aww. Tom, one of the live streams, I don't remember when. It was like a month or so ago.
It was right before
a bunch of
Christmas.
people got together. She made a comment. A bunch of people got together and donated money so that I now have to buy a kilt.
JB Jekyll. Sorry.
Yes. All right. That's it for today. It's 7:49. I'm calling a few minutes early because I am wiped out. I'm going to fall over and pass out. Anyway.
Barbecue 76. I want to be part of this Vegas trip kilt party. Sounds like fun. However, my kilts must fit properly. What Mr. Bear has is not up to me. However, pictures his skirt.
We'll set up a whole
it'll be a thing.
Meet and greet thing. Clan Cave Bear. All right. We're out of here. I got to go lay down. Thank you so much for everyone who showed up. Thanks again, of course, to all the members for all your support. Everyone who supports us with the super chats. Of course, for all of our the Cobalt Blue moderators. Thank you, everyone, and I hope your 2022 is going better than mine, and it just keeps getting better. Positive thinking, right?
Yep.
It's all about positive thinking. Anyway, you all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on. Got to manifest the destiny, right?
That's right.
Oh, my gosh. Can't even see what I'm doing here.